Totally Spies was once a mass favorite. Three teenage girls balancing high school life with high-tech spy missions. It was stylish, iconic, unforgettable, and successful even among boys. Everybody loved it regardless of their gender or age. But over 2 decades later, we wonder, what happened? Where did Totally Spies go so wrong that it no longer feels like the show we fell in love with? Hey people, Crystal here. Before I start, I would greatly appreciate if you liked and subscribed for more. Now, when I say Totally Spies is dead, I don't mean it disappeared completely or that fans suddenly vanished. But something changed. It stopped feeling like the show we knew. And that's what I want to explore, not just that it's dead, but how and why it lost its magic. This is what I call the slow death of Totally Spies, not just in ratings, but in relevance and impact. I've watched most of the episodes, though the release order lately seems a bit jumbled. But right now, I need your opinion. I know I should probably do more reviews on the season 7 episodes when they come out, but what do you think? Do you like them? Hate them? What other shows should I cover? Please tell me in the comments below. Still, the premise of this video remains. And it is about what I call the death of Totally Spies. Not just whether it's airing or not, but whether it still feels alive. It's not just that it's dead, but why it feels that way. People haven't completely left the fandom, but things like fan art, community posts, and excitement have clearly declined. And I think that's due to one big reason: disappointment. That's what we're diving into. The genius of it. Before we talk about the fall, we need to appreciate what made it rise in the first place. Totally Spies launched in 2001, created by Vincent Chalvon de Marseille and David Michel. Right from the start, it stood out. Set in Beverly Hills, it followed three best friends, Sam, Clover, and Alex, who were recruited by Whoop, a secret spy organization. The girls weren't just pretty faces. They were tough, clever, and handled dangerous missions, all while dealing with pop quizzes, dating drama, and shopping sales. The entire premise of the show was cleverly done because it was able to make its viewers able to relate to the show and aspire to be the different characters. Throughout the show, we see what the three different girls embody through their complex dynamics. One reason the formula worked so well is because it mixed classic spy tropes with everyday high school life, fashion, and humor. And unlike many shows of its time, Totally Spies was unapologetically girly and still action-packed. It stood out against the male-targeted shows at the time, definitely due to its female leads defying boring girl power tropes. They were just girls with quirky, fully fleshed-out personalities and fun with dynamic designs included. Totally Spies was so unique in that its three female leads weren't defined simply by their power, strength, and skill alone. They were primarily defined by their personalities. It was also among the first Western-produced shows to openly have its anime influences on display, which I believe influenced its success. The signs of downfall. But like many great shows, it hit a wall. And when it came back, it didn't bring the magic along with it. It started in 2013 with a new season that had bright visuals and even a cute pig. But something was off. It refused to grow up. And what I mean by that is, it felt like a show for little girls instead of preteens, with terrible music voice direction. An awful-sounding opening with plots feeling very safe with not enough multi-episode stories for. This is where we begin to see a shift with an obvious decline of quality with the characters. I could easily forget the villains, except some of course. Season 7. Totally Spies is dead. Not because people stopped caring, not because spy cartoons are outdated, but because the people who brought it back had no clue what made it iconic in the first place. Season 7 isn't a continuation, it's a weird hollow reboot hiding behind familiar names. The characters might look the same at first glance, But when I watched it, I felt as though they were mere poorly done parodies of the previous them. And don't get me started on the animation. Sure, it's cleaner, but that's not always a good thing. The original was bold, expressive, stylish. You could feel the action. Now it's so smooth and flat that it resembles a YouTube Kids cartoon. It's all been ironed out into something so safe it's practically boring. The villains are forgettable. The plots are empty. The gadgets used to be creative and funny, now they're just there. Everything has been stripped of personality. Even Mandy, who used to be the perfect over-the-top rival, feels nerfed and unfunny. I feel as though she lacks a dimensional personality. She used to be the iconic love-to-hate character. Now she feels like a placeholder, and that says a lot about how much edge the show lost. What hurts the most is that this could have been amazing. Imagine a version of Totally Spies where the girls are older, training the next generation of spies, or dealing with far more complex missions that exceeds the simple villain of the week trope. Imagine a version that actually grew up with the fans. I feel as though more people, both fans and non-fans alike, would have loved it. But instead, they reboot like nothing happened. Last 6 seasons didn't matter. Like we wouldn't notice. Totally Spies didn't need a reboot. It needed evolution. But instead of letting the show grow, it was dug up and repackaged into something unrecognizable. In my opinion, that's not a revival. That's more like a funeral. And that's why I believe it is dead. Not because the fans let it go, but because the creators did. But with that being said, what are your opinions? Should I make more videos like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below while subscribing, of course. Crystal out.